UFC 284 is over, and Islam Makhachev and Alexander Volkanovski have put on a fight of the year contender. But who should they fight next? Before I get into that, if you're brand new here, make sure to subscribe because we have brand new videos every single week. So who should they both fight next? The obvious answer is a rematch. It's a fight that I would love to see, but I'm not sure if an instant rematch is necessarily the best idea. Maybe they could have one title defense each, and we could see them fight each other again at the end of the year and see who's made the most adjustments. So who would be a good opponent for Islam Makhachev? The top of the lightweight division is fully booked up. You've got Justin Gaethje versus Rafael Fiziev at UFC 286, and it's rumoured that we're going to have Beneil Dariush versus Charles Oliveira at UFC 288. Only leaving Dustin Poirier without a fight. The thing is, I don't really think it's time for Dustin Poirier to get another title shot just yet. His last two title shots he's lost, and I don't think it's quite fair just to push him into that fight. Plus, I think Islam needs a bit of time away. I think it took a lot out of him, that fight. He looked really rough. I think he had a bad weight cut as well. I think he needs to take a little bit of time away, recover and fix any holes that he perceives, and come back even better next time. So I think that gives us a little bit more time, so we don't have to rush into another title defense too soon. So that's why I think it'd be great if the winner of Beneil Dariush versus Charles Oliveira gets a title shot, because I think Rafael Fiziev and Justin Gaethje probably don't deserve a title shot either, and I'd love to see Beneil Dariush get it done. I think the problem is with the lightweight division, we keep having the same guys just fight each other on loop. And we really need to get this new blood up, and Beneil Dariush should be a perfect opponent. Volk is an easy one. We already know who he's going to fight, the new interim champion, Yair Rodriguez. But the problem is, it's a fight that I'm not overly interested in, and it's not one that I'm invested in either. Like I said going up to this fight before, I feel it was a little bit unjust that Yair and Emmett were even getting an interim belt, and I'm not sure why they put that fight together at all. I think the big problem is Yair doesn't have much for Volk. Volk showed how dominant a champion he is, even though he's not the pound for pound anymore. I think he is in a lot of people's eyes. He's proved how good a fighter he is. Even if you didn't believe it before, now you have to believe it. And I feel like Yair versus Volk will just be a rehash of Max versus Volk 3. I think it's just going to be a pure domination. I'd have rather have seen Arnold Allen versus Volk if Arnold Allen can beat Max Holloway. I think that'd be a much more fun, dynamic fight. But then where does all of this leave Josh Emmett? He's already 37, so I think title aspirations are probably out of the window. Maybe he could fight Brian Ortega when he returns from his shoulder injury. But a fight that I think would be really interesting is Josh Emmett versus Ilia Topuria. I think Ilia Topuria has a real chance of being a big star, especially after he just demolished Bryce Mitchell. I think strap a rocket to that guy and shoot him up that division, and I think a win over Josh Emmett will really get in there. Let's move on to JDM versus Randy Brown. An amazing performance by Jack with a first round finish. I genuinely think he's going to be a huge star in the welterweight division, and I think let's push him up these rankings, give him some ranked opponents, and get him up there. Maybe someone like Neil Magny or Alex Pereira. Definitely not Alex Pereira, Michael Pereira. Could you imagine that? For Jack. I don't think that'd end too well for him. But like I said, I think Michael Pereira or Neil Magny are great fights for him. You know, fights that he could win and something that could really push him up. With Randy Brown coming off a loss, I don't think you can push him up too drastically now. He kind of needs to fight someone at his level. Maybe someone like Muslim Salikov or Brian Barbereda. I think they'd be great options and could get all three of those fighters back into a win column. And now we have the heavyweights. Justin Tafa versus Parker Porter. Justin Tafa got a crazy first round knockout, but what do you do with him next? He's not had the best record, going 2-2 in his last 4, but he's still young and he could really bounce back. I think if it was me booking him, I'd want to push him up quickly. I think he's got plenty of time to turn his career around, and I think someone like Chris Daukaus would be a great fight. It's a fact that they could both win and get them up in the rankings. And with Parker Porter, I think I'd like to see him fight someone on his level, maybe someone like Chris Barnett. I think that'd be a really fun fight to see. But with these big heavyweights, they're always fun fights. And then we have Jimmy Crute and Randy Brown, and that's an easy one to book. There was a point deduction, so the fight ended up in a draw. So the easy option is just have them rematch. They both want it. I want to see it again. I think fans want to see it again. It was a good, fun fight, and let's see who can make the adjustments and get the win this time. And that's everyone who I think should fight next from the main card. Make sure you comment down below if you agree with my options or if you'd like to see some different matchups. I do think that's all we've got time for. Thank you for watching. If you can like, comment and subscribe, it really does help us out.